In a battle of Los Angeles that featured a 16-point quarter from James Harden, a near 30 ball from Kawhi, and a Clippers team that found themselves up 21 during the fourth quarter, you guessed it, 39-year-old LeBron James not only stole the show, but the game, leading the way in one of the most impressive fourth quarter comebacks you'll ever see. And to understand how they were able to get it done, we first have to look at why they were in that position to begin with. The start of this game was pretty much everything you'd expect out of a matchup between these two teams. Without Zubats, the paint is a lot more vulnerable, meaning that AD can feast on deep post steals or rolls to the basket. Or the Lakers could set up their offense through Davis up top and run some off-ball action. Without much secondary rim protection on the floor, when LeBron slips a screen, he's left with easy points. On the other end, you of course have Kawhi Leonard isolating and making his fair share of difficult shots from all over the floor as he scored 10 first quarter points. And when he didn't have the ball, it was probably in the hands of James Harden for a high pick and roll, doing what he does best on a lob to Plumlee. When Westbrook checked into the game, he immediately brought that high energy run and gun playstyle as he attacks in transition. And in general, this first quarter was super fast paced. Lots of up and down from both teams. When you've got an up and down game that features the likes of LeBron James, it's only a matter of time before you get one of his infamous chase down blocks. And all of that's to say, this first quarter was very back and forth. A pretty even match, all culminating in this putback by Kawhi to give the Clippers a 1-point lead heading into the second. This is when things started to go south for the Lakers. The second quarter opened with a set action to clear the middle of the floor for Plumlee to hand it off to Norman Powell, who uses all of that space to pull up for a mid-range jumper. Then about a minute later, Powell sets up a high pick and roll, sees Jackson Hayes back in deep drop coverage, and decides to attack him on a drive to the rim. This was the exact moment where it became clear that the game plan was to attack Hayes in pick and roll. Next time down, it's Harden's turn, with the same result as he takes it to the basket. And here it is again. Harden comes off a screen, Hayes is sitting back, and with a little burst of speed and some crafty footwork, he's got himself a chance at 3 points from the line. You'd think that AD checking in would be the difference, but Harden continued to execute that high pick and roll game to near perfection. It's obviously not as easy for him to attack the space, but with a more patient approach, he still finds himself with a quality layup. So on the next one, AD starts a bit further back in an effort to protect the paint, to which James counters by pulling up for a long-range jumper. Another interesting wrinkle to consider here is that Daniel Tice can shoot, so he's also a threat to pop. Notice how Harden uses that to his advantage, hesitating and faking a pass to freeze Davis in no man's land, meaning that when he starts his drive, there's nobody to protect the rim. Harden had 16 second quarter points, leading the charge for a Clippers team that produced a 144 offensive rating, which becomes even crazier when you consider that they only shot 1 of 8 from 3. It wasn't just the offense though. They threw out a switch everything lineup and the rotations were on point. As soon as Dinwiddie comes to screen, Harden picks up LeBron, but Plumlee's late to switch, so Powell has to drop from the corner to take away a slip, while Plumlee rotates to that now open corner to contest a jumper. With timely switches and good help, the Lakers struggled to create any advantages, which resulted in lots and lots of ISO ball. When it came to those scenarios, they weren't really putting much pressure on the rim, so they ended up having to settle for lower quality outside shots. Considering they were an even worse 1 of 10 from 3 and turned the ball over 4 times, they only produced a 92 offensive rating, meaning that this was now a 14-point game at the half. To start the third, the Lakers looked amazing. They forced 3 turnovers in the span of a minute, which doesn't even include this strip from LeBron that was officially recorded as a block. From there, the key for them was turning defense into easy transition offense. They made plays like this over and over again, forcing bad passes or stripping ball handlers before taking it to the house. At one point going on an 8-0 run to actually cut the lead down to 9. After that, the Clippers immediately caught fire, raining in 3 after 3 after 3 as they shot 6 of 13 from deep in the quarter. The Lakers scraped together enough buckets through the creation of LeBron to at least keep the game within reach, but when he checked out down 13 with 3.5 minutes to go, the offense started to collapse. They again struggled to create advantages and had to rely on tough shots. The Clippers' aggressive style of defense forced ball handlers into tough decisions and ultimately multiple turnovers, which of course led to easy runouts on the other end. And it all built up to this smothered Norman Powell triple to make it a 19-point game heading into the final 12 minutes. On the very first possession of the fourth, the Lakers turn it over, leading to some easy transition offense for the Clippers, and now all of a sudden that lead is up to 21. Cam Reddish comes back and hits a big three, but from there it was all LeBron James. It started with this play as a trailer, drawing a closeout and letting it fly by before stepping into a wide open three. Then on the next one, it was an actual set action designed to get him a three, running off a flare screen and turning into a jumper. At this point, he's obviously feeling it, so in semi-transition, he decides to try his hand at another one and drills it to bring it back to a single-digit game. The next time he finds himself in transition, instead of pulling up for another jumper, he decides to attack downhill, collapsing the defense before kicking it out to D'Lo, who's gonna pour in 3 of his own. And here's what it looked like when the defense didn't collapse. He very easily beats his man off the dribble and uses his strength to create a tough finishing angle. We've got a 5-point game. It didn't matter how, when, or where he was shooting from, it was like there was a magnet in the rim. This time he's trailing the play and steps into yet another triple, and just a couple minutes later he isolates from up top, goes to his signature left-hand sidestep before firing off his 5th three of the quarter. Here's the thing though, he wasn't just making plays on offense. Watch him. He stays glued to Kawhi in an effort to deny him the ball, and a fumbled pass results in a turnover. That sort of defensive pressure really applies to the entire team. They were locked in. Remember how Harden torched Jackson Hayes in that drop coverage in the second quarter? The Lakers adjusted by having him blitz the action, and that was the catalyst behind quite a few stops as they forced others to make tough decisions. The goal was to shut off the paint by any means necessary. You've got Hayes coming up to the three-point line to take away Harden's initial lane, and when he changes course, you've got LeBron coming way over from the weak side to offer a third body, knowing that if the ball gets moved to Russ on the opposite wing, that's a shot they're willing to concede just about every time. Here's another example that starts with the blitz against Harden. He hits Plumlee in the short roll, and like I said, it's about forcing role players to make tough decisions. This two-way takeover from the Lakers allowed them to gain control of the game, and with just over 3 minutes left, they finally got the lead after a 12-0 run. Then when the Clippers tried to counter, they continued to lock up defensively, forcing an awful look and eventual shot clock violation. James Harden was finally able to end the spell with an isolation against Davis, using his speed to beat him off the dribble and lay it in. The Lakers continued to extend that lead though. At this point, the defense is forced to double LeBron, and he finds the perfect skip pass to D'Lo in the corner, who goes to a no-dip 3 to put his team up 6. With a minute left to go, that's when Kawhi turned his play up a notch. It started with this driving floater over LeBron, and next time down he finds himself with the Anthony Davis matchup, blowing right by him on a drive and easy finish. Of course, he does it on both ends of the floor as well as anyone, so down 2 and desperately needing a stop, he plays some phenomenal one-on-one defense against LeBron, giving his team a chance to tie the game. Everyone in the arena knew that ball was going to Kawhi, and he tries to do his best impression of that 2019 shot versus the Sixers, but comes up short, which leads to a wide open run out for Cam Reddish, and that's the ball game. LeBron actually outscored the entire Clippers squad by himself in the fourth quarter with 19 points to their 16. And in the game, he shot 7 of 12 from 3 on his way to 34 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. After going down by as many as 21 in the fourth, the Lakers find a way to steal a huge comeback win, now up to 8-3 in their last 11 games behind the play of one LeBron James. At age 39, he just continues to find ways to do the impossible. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this matchup. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.